Good evening, everybody. Monday Morning Quarterback, episode 42. If you were out here at PRI, we hope you made it back safely, and hopefully you're in some warmer weather now. It was a cold one this week at PRI. So hope you guys all had a great start to your week. We are flat out here getting ready for the Tulsa Shootout. It'll be here before you know it, and we can't wait to get out there and see all of our customers and work with you guys. We have DeCoin this weekend for the Knepper Memorial. We'll be over there Saturday helping our midget customers. So kind of a busy time of year for us here leading into Christmas, then Shootout and Chili Bowl. And then we'll be headed to Daytona and the opening sprint car races in Florida. So a lot going on. Tonight, we're going to discuss our new PitLogic app. So for those of you who were at the PRI show, you might have got a demonstration of that from us, but we know a lot of you weren't there and have asked to see it. And so I created a little video this afternoon that's going to kind of break down all the different features of the app, and then I'll cut back and answer any questions pertaining to the app, PRI, or any other racing questions you have, as we're got some big ones coming up here pretty quick. So without further ado, it's about a 10-minute video kind of walking through the features here, and here you go. Welcome to the new CSI PitLogic app. Currently we're on the home screen, and now I'm going to walk you through some of the features you'll find within our app. If you click in the lower right corner, you'll see a features button. Here you'll find screenshots of several different scenarios you'll encounter as you navigate through the app. So this will be a useful tool as we have instructions for several of these screens. To get back to the main screen, simply tap anywhere on your screen. The next area we'd like to show you is the settings button, and the main one here is your gear charts. Throughout the app, gear charts and setup templates are going to be downloaded per your needs. They're all included in the price, but you can download as few or as many as you would like. You see I have a sprint car rear end selected. However, there's many more gear charts available. So if you hit Get Gear Chart, you'll see all the different micro sprint ones we have available, whether you're running third or fourth gear, some dirt midget rear end ratios, quarter midget, Briggs & Stratton or Honda, chain or belt drive, and the common sprint car rear ends. You would download them right there. The next area I'd like to show you is the gear section. If you click on gears and you go to the top right, you'll be able to select any gear box ratio that you've downloaded in your library. I've only got one right now, the sprint car 486 rear end. If I select the gear that I'm currently running by clicking on it, I can now enter my current RPM and my desired RPM and hit find gear, and it will tell me the proper gear to put in the car. Real helpful, useful tool, super simple to use. The next thing I'm going to show you is the shock area. So here in your shock library, you can see I have 2 shocks in there, and there's 2 ways to get shocks into your library. If you click Add New Shock, you'll see you can manually add a shock. So no matter what brand of shock you use, you can still use our PitLogic app, and you would manually enter your shock data here. Manufacturer, model length, class and corner, serial number, shock type, twin tube or monotube, the date you purchased it new, if you know that, the date it was last serviced. Anywhere in here you can enter as much or as little information as you want. If you click on the Add button, the little blue circle on the right here, that is where you'll be able to add all of your shock data. And again, you can enter as much or as little as you want. So you would select either compression or rebound. If it's a non-adjustable, you can leave it at 0 clicks and enter your data. If it is an adjustable, you can enter how many clicks it is and enter the data. So for an adjustable shock, you'll enter a line for each click setting that you want to note. And we have, again, some predefined terms here for dirt track conditions. You would hit save and it would save that line of data. It takes 4 or 5 minutes to add an adjustable shock, probably less than 2 minutes for a non-adjustable. The second way to get a shock into your library is to subscribe to our silver package within the app, and in that we will manually enter all your shock data for you and issue you a web code that you would enter here which then automatically pulls all that data into your shock library for you. Along with that, we will send you a web code anytime your shock is repaired or revalved, and you can upload your most recent shock data into your library for you. This is what a shock looks like that we would have in our library. It's an RS17 7-inch micro sprint right front. Gives you the serial number, tells you it's a monotube shock. It was bought new in December of 17 and then serviced in June of last year. You can see it's a rebound adjustable shock. We've only got one line of data for the compression, and then we have all of our rebound settings here. We've also added the colors that we use on our tuning guides as a reference. Blue for heavy rough, yellow for start, red for slick. So you've got all your shock data right there at your fingertips. Pretty neat option to have there. We'll back out to the home screen and show you the setup area. Again here, this is where you'll want to download whatever setup pertains to your application. If you hit create new setup, you'll see I have a 600 micro and Dirt Midget downloaded on my device. You can hit get new template and you'll see the ones that we've already built there, and you can select one of those. If you don't see one that you like, let us know. If we get enough call for it, we will create a template for you. So if we back out here, again, you'll see another option that says download from the web. This is where we're going to start to upload some of our quarter midget setups. Some micro manufacturers have gotten with us and they want to give us their baseline information, and so we'll start to publish these codes that you can download from the web, so you get some baseline setups from us and from some of the chassis manufacturers. If we're back here to our library of setups, you can sort them by car or track. So if you're a quarter midget person and you run multiple cars, you can just name your car by the class and you can sort it and maybe only look at your senior Honda setups. A micro person could do the same thing if they ran A-Class and Outlaw, or Outlaw Wing and Non-Wing. You can sort them by that. You can sort them by track as well. We will open this micro setup here, and I'll click on the baseline. When you create a new setup, the baseline tab will be your start tab, and you would enter all the data you want. Again, you can enter as much or as little as you desire. You can enter your start position, finish position, the number of laps you ran, your best lap and your opponent's best lap. That would be good information you could get from a Race Monitor or a My Race Pass app. And then you can rate the setup from 0 to 10, whether it was good or bad. You would select the time of day, and again, we have some predefined terms here for our dirt track guys. You can select the track condition, and then weather, you can type that there. All of the settings, until you get down to stagger, are information you will enter. So your wing positions, engine and axle gear, you'll select what gearbox you have, and it'll calculate a gear ratio for you. Once you get down to stagger, from there down through tilt, those are calculators based on the information that we are going to enter below. The fuel area, this is a really cool addition we've done. Here you'll enter the amount of fuel you started with, the amount of fuel you finished with, and based on the total of laps you said you've ran, it'll calculate a consumption per lap. When you go to your next session and you enter the number of laps you need to run, it'll give you the amount of fuel needed to complete that race. So a really handy feature there. Now we're going to get down into the core of the setup, and you can see it's broke down left front, left rear, right rear. And this is where you'll enter all the data for your particular setup. And we built these templates based on the information that we felt was most pertinent for that application. So you'll see torsion bars, blocks, turns, air pressure. All of those things are nice things to take note of. And we've made them really easy to do that. Like if you click on blocks, we've got the common micro blocks for you to select from. So the really cool feature is the shocks. If you click on shocks, it's going to open up your shock library. You select the shock that's on the car, tell it how many clicks open you are, and it's going to automatically populate the data for you pertaining to that shock at that click setting. If you didn't know where you wanted to be, you can simply hold down on the number. It'll pull up your data from the library, you can click where you want to be, and then it'll tell you how many clicks open you need to be. So very similar when you get down here to the back, a lot of the same data. When we get to the bottom, you have all of your engine information. You can enter your density, altitude, lambda, fuel pressure, and some of that varies based on the template that you're working on. We have some different engine data that you would record for a dirt midget versus a micro. Another cool feature in your setup here is the notes. You can add either a driver or crew note and mark whether it's positive, neutral, or negative. You simply type in the note. Really easy to use. When you go to add a new session, all you do is hit new session and you tell it what you're going to. So if you're going from hot laps to qualifying, you just click qualifying and it'll bring a new tab up there on the top. I'll open our hot laps tab, and what happens here is it copies all of the information over from the session previous. It just assumes that you didn't change anything. What it does do, when you go in and change certain items in the setup, it'll highlight those yellow, so it's easy to go back and see what was changed from the session previous. When you're done racing for the night and you don't want anybody to fool with the setup, you can hit the little lock key, and now as you're clicking on things, you can no longer modify that setup. So that's a handy little tool. Another one of my favorite features is the PDF. I like to keep a binder in the shop. If you click on PDF there, open your PDF viewer, now you have a nice PDF setup sheet that you can print and put in a notebook, email to a friend, whatever you would like to do there. We'll go back to the library of setups. Again, here you can store them by track or car. Oops. If you hold on that setup, it opens up another window. You can mark this as your baseline, and then every time you go to enter a new setup, it'll automatically copy all your starting settings in there for you. You can change them if you choose, but that prevents you from having to enter all of that data again. Another feature you see here is upload to the web. At this point here, you can back up your setups to the cloud. You don't need internet access for this to work. You all know we race at some tracks where there's no Wi-Fi connection. So now you can use that because everything is stored on your device, but it gives you the opportunity to back stuff up to the web. The other thing you can do here is upload to the web and share the setups with CSI if you're a gold level member, and we analyze those setups for you. We're working on a feature for the gold members that just has a button on your device that says send to CSI, and we hope to have that available here in the next few weeks. So that is our setup as a whole. We hope you enjoyed the tutorial. For those of you that asked about when it will be available for iOS or Apple devices, we're currently working on that. We don't have a release date yet, but it is in progress. So hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to go back live now and answer any questions you have. And thanks for tuning in to Monday Morning Quarterback. So there you have it, the CSI PitLogic app. It is available now on the Google Play Store for $9.99 a month. You get all those features we showed in the base package for $9.99 a month, so less than a sleeve of tear-offs. We've had several questions from people in Canada, Australia, New Zealand. It is available in all those countries as well as the US, obviously. So we're going to answer some of your questions now. I see Kevin has answered some of them already. Kevin Crum and his son Chance, they developed this app for us, and Kevin did most of the back-end coding and Chance did some of the stuff to make it look fancy, and we certainly appreciate them, and it's been awesome working with those guys. It's much easier to work with racers that have the same passion and love for it, because it becomes a labor of love at some point. So Kevin's answered some of your questions as far as certain tablets will work, etc. Mark Ashcraft, when will our shock data be uploaded if a gold member? Also, how will be notified on setup analysis? And when will this start? Kevin will be able to answer this a little bit better, but to the best of my knowledge, by the end of the week here, we should have everything under wraps for you guys that are gold level members. We'll be able to notify you, get your shocks uploaded, and start analyzing your setup. So couple more of you signed up for that than we thought, which is awesome, and we can't wait to start helping you. So look for that later this week. I would say next week at the latest. We'll get in there and helping you guys. So another question is, a lot of you have asked about the Apple version. We are working on that. We don't have a release date yet, but we hope to be able to announce a release date in the not too distant future. For now, it is available on the Google Play Store. I'm an Apple guy myself, but I was able to get this Samsung tablet on Amazon for under $100, and it works great just to leave in your toolbox if you wanted to get the app going now. I put a link on our Facebook page to a slightly smaller version than that that's on sale for $69, I believe. So, anybody else that's tuned in have questions pertaining to the app or PRI or anything racing related? Okay, there we go. Mark Kevin's replied to your question with more detail, so that's awesome. Thank you, Tim. We appreciate that. Something we really wanted to bring to help us better communicate with our customers and help people have a more efficient way to keep track of notes. So, anybody else have questions? Tom Stengel, Micron 5 download to the setup. That's not something that we've thought about yet. Kevin is tuned in. He could maybe better answer if that's even a possibility. That's above my pay grade. Kevin, go Seahawks. I need Kyle Rudolph, the Vikings tight end, to at least catch like 3 or 4 passes so I win my fantasy game. But after that, the Seahawks can win. Aaron, thank you for the compliment. We appreciate it. Got a lot of good feedback from the app, and it is a work in progress. So we're going to continue to add features and things. So don't be bashful to share your ideas and some things that you might like to see a little bit different. And we built this for you guys, so we do appreciate the feedback. Steve, that's a question maybe for Kevin, and you might need to send him a screenshot. The tablet I have is a Samsung Tab A, and it works just fine. Thank you, Dave. I know a lot of you guys were in town this week and got seats poured by Dave Sharpley at Sharp Advantage. So, Tim, you can have the app on multiple devices. To the best of my knowledge, as long as they're both registered to the same Google ID, you can have it on your phone and tablet. I know we've got multiple tablets here at our shop with the app on it, and they're all just on the same Google ID. So yeah, and we do have some teams that have multiple devices. Anybody else have any questions? We thank you guys for the feedback. Please share this video with your friends. We created this app for the masses and to help all of our fellow racers. Whether you use CSI shocks or not, the app will be a super useful tool for you in 2019. So we appreciate you sharing the video. Next week we got some cool tech videos coming at you. We're going to discuss how you rebuild your shock adjuster cables. USAC made an announcement that shock adjuster cables are legal again in 2019 for the National Sprint Car Series, and so we know there's some guys that have had cables sitting in the garage for a year, probably locked up and not feeling too good, so we're going to do a little video on how you freshen up and rebuild your cables in the off season, and we got some other how-tos coming shortly thereafter. So certainly appreciate you guys tuning in. If we didn't catch your question pertaining to the new PitLogic setup app, let us know and we will answer that. And we hope you all have a fantastic week.